we're working on getting out the driver's heater. Likely get that one done today, and then start on the door heater. And then after that, it'll be ripping out the rest of the flooring. So it is like, I don't know, 5-6 degrees outside. We'll see how far we get.
I'm just starting at the top, working my way down.
Okay.
Just trying to figure out
how it's put together in there. Let me get the engine open and I'll...
Okay, here's what I need, Sam. We need one of the ratchet straps. Remember I told you on that one video, the gal used a ratchet strap to hold the panel, the switch panel up.
Okay.
Because I don't plan on taking out any wiring if we don't have to.
Okay. Let me get the hood open and grab the coolant lines, shut them off, and then I'll grab the ratchet strap.
Okay. Just watching underneath there, make sure I don't overstrain any wires.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way it is.
Still good.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Yeah, you're good. There's so much slack in there.
Okay. Yeah, okay, good. What I don't want to do is pull something apart.
And then not know what it went to.
Yeah. Okay.
And you'll eventually not need all of those.
I think maybe this. Yeah, this.
Attached to the wall.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how this thing comes apart. So you can see better how the coolant line runs. If you recall from a previous video, this is the driver heater, and that line there used to run all the way to the back. I don't know, rear heater. And then that's where it enters the engine bay. And then it goes into the engine bay. You can kind of sort of see the lines in there. And part of the loop also comes back out and around to this heater. Here, this door heater. I'll show you the engine bay real quick. Holler if you need me. Alrighty, so I got 3 cutoff switches on like some buses. So I got 1 cutoff switch there, 1 there, and then there's 1 inside at the driver's heater. You can see we dumped a lot of coolant the last time getting out heaters. I got some to get that filled up and then get it to the garage so that they can flush it and get some new coolant in there. Probably do that, I don't know, in spring, but you can kind of sort of see this one here is the coolant loop that runs into the door heater, and I believe this line, if I recall correctly, yep, you can kind of tell at the top there, that line is what runs to the driver's heater. So the order of all these heaters is you had the rear heater, which looped to the Webasto coolant heater, which looped to the driver heater, and then looped to this door heater, and then this one loops here up to the radiator engine system. So it's a closed loop system, and then it goes back all the way around. So there you go.
Trying to figure out what.
Is it attached?
I think what we can do is cut these two rubber hoses.
And keep the,
yeah, and then pull the core out.
because we're gonna be replacing this,
Yep.
so we should keep the copper as intact as possible.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the heating coil, isn't it? Trying to preserve as much of the ducting, pipes, and whatnot so we can install a new heater in the same space. But first, get to the flooring and clean up the rust. Put down some chassis saver, and then a new subfloor with maybe a little bit of insulation up here. Thinking I can fit about 1 inch of insulation.
Yeah. Get the sawzall.
Okay.
The system. Okay, if you can take this out. There you go.
The door heater. It's a Hurry Hot brand by Bluebird. But I'm gonna replace it. So it's coming out. Driver heater deleters. Door heater deleters. Work with the deleted. Hi. So today we're working on ripping out the rest of the floor and the stairwell. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, 14-ish degrees out here. A little bit cold. That's the goal today. Got the flooring up from the cab, what I'm calling the cab. And really the worst spot is underneath the driver's seat. I'm a little surprised this spot right here isn't worse than it is, considering everyone walked there. At this point, the plan for this is to try, I think I'm going to try to do 1 inch insulation here, because the cabs tend to get pretty cold and any insulation helps. On a day like today, you can see this engine block. Hopefully you can kind of see it. It's got some ice crystals on it. And it's probably around 15 degrees right now. High of 16, maybe only 14, I'm not sure. But it's gonna get cold in here. If I don't try to put in some kind of insulation. So that's the goal. Well, before the insulation, we'll put down chassis saver, which will convert this rust here, harden it with the shellac chassis saver, and then do an inch of insulation, and then a subflooring with, I think I'm going to do the Advantech OSB. I got to find a vinyl to be able to cover this. And then there was an engine cover here. We're going to have to modify that, but Dad's got some ideas on modifying that so it'll fit this space again. You can see there's a seam here. It's a pretty big seam. So we'll have to do a patch, some fabrication there with metal. I mean, there was one there that we took out, so we'll have to do that there. And there's a seam over here because that's where the floor attaches to the engine bay. And you can see it's got quite the seam over here. Again, we are going to be putting in a new heater here. I think we're going to go with the JEGS brand, JEGS. It was one of the more recommended brands. It's like I think I have a unit that's 40,000 BTUs, which should be enough for me. So we'll put one there. We'll reuse this ducting. Some of that is, one of those is defrost. The other one is to the door. Yeah, I believe the smaller one is defrost and the larger one was, yeah, I'm not sure. But we'll figure that out when we go install it. We're also over here where this was where the door heater was. I'm going to get another JEGS heater for there. Because if I've got somebody, yeah, a JEGS heater here. So again, that's JEGS, I think. Might do a little bit more research, see if there's another brand just to make sure. But yeah, fit one there. So I won't have this space as storage, to be honest. I think what I'm going to do here for house stuff is, honestly, I'm thinking that this space here, heater, and then that's going to be engine cover, and it'll come to probably about here. See where that screw is? It'll come to about there. So honestly, I think what I'm going to do is roadside safety equipment, fire extinguisher, stuff like that right there. And then maybe a pair of shoes or two, like the stuff that I'm take on and off that day, the shoes that I'm using for that day. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of storage up here like some buses do. Well, household storage, but we'll see. Honestly, I am glad I took out this flooring. I wasn't originally planning to do that, but I'm glad I did because there is some rust, you can see. But the other thing I don't think we mentioned is it appeared that the driver heater over here, it appeared that it was leaking. So I don't know, maybe just a small leak, but I'm kind of glad I'm replaced the factory heaters. There were, I believe that unit was the 60,000 BTUs, and I'm going to go a little bit smaller, the door unit over here. I'm going to go a little bit smaller, but I don't need a massive one because I'm not going to have a bunch of people riding in it like a school bus would. It'll probably be, I'm thinking, right now the plan is up to 3 people riding in the bus at any one point in time. I didn't mention this either, but the part of the other plan is to, the driver heater here, Hopefully you can see that. Or the door heater, sorry. The plan is the door heater and the driver heater is gonna be used while the engine is on. There's a chance might be able to use them by running the coolant heater, but I'm not sure. But the idea is that with those two running, I can duct from over here to the house and have that warmed up some too, so that like while I'm driving and if it's super duper cold, my tanks and stuff don't freeze. I'm also gonna have a small tank heater back there just in case, or some sort of heating system back there that's separate from the diesel heaters or whatever other house heating I'm gonna have. Anyways, that's the plan so far. Might change like everything else in this bus. Here's another reason to take out the flooring in your cab is, oh my gosh, it's so dirty up there. And I probably wouldn't have seen how dirty that was without, like this corner and stuff. I probably wouldn't have seen how dirty it was without pulling everything out. And yeah, that would have been disgusting. I will be glad when this thing is, we got it finished, cleaned up, done grinding, got the shellac down, the chassis saver shellac, and not walking on all this filth. I swear every time I walk in, there's more and more to sweep. There's more and more dust. It feels never ending at this point. But it is 20 plus years of dirt and grime. So shouldn't be too surprised, should I? I got some nuts or bolts and screws to grind down and get these steps off, and then the floor, once that's done, the vinyl off the steps, the floor will be completely ripped out. And then, yeah, that'll be the first third of the demolition done. So I got this Ridge shop vac. Yeah, Rigid from, I think it was Home Depot. It was like an older model, so on sale, half off. And then I specifically got this filter because it's supposed to, if I remember correctly, pick up, what is it, 0.003 micron or whatever, and do it wet and dry. So I don't have to switch. The reason I want it to pick up that small is for all the fine dust that's going to inevitably happen when there's grinding, sanding, etc. So that's supposed to be the same filter size as, what are they, dust extractors that are typically used in wood shops. So it did come with a filter, but it was not that nice of one. Yeah, this is a much larger one, and I believe it's a dry filter, if I remember correctly. So it doesn't really work switching back and forth. And yeah. Anyways. There we go. Oh, I believe this one, you can kind of see the difference between the two. I think, hopefully the lighting's not too bad back here. But this one's thicker, I believe. This is just a standard like dust filter. This doesn't do much. This one has a mesh inside. Not sure if that's hard plastic or maybe a thin metal. And this one is a HEPA filter. Is that working a little better?
Yeah, it's going to be real slow.
Okay. Let me know when you want to switch and stuff. So, standard equipment.